dun 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 dun. I can't see any film crew here. No, neither can I. This is where they're filming The Shadows, isn't it? Yes, as far as I'm aware. Why did they choose you? Well, they said they needed big sharks, and I was the biggest shark they could find. That's what they told me. Oh well, I guess we are the biggest sharks. Oh shit. Good morning to you all. I'm reporting directly from a rather grim, drizzly, windscreen wipery northeast of England on Saturday. Saturday the 11th. So, some horror news for those of you out there who are fans of the Wrong Turn franchise. You will obviously be aware that there are 6 films in the series so far, and I think a lot of people out there were secretly hoping that there wouldn't be any more. However, there is word out there that a 7th installment is currently in the works. Now, we don't know exactly how far true this is. There is little to no information regarding storyline, plot, casting, directors, producers, even film houses on board. There is very little in connection with that. However, there has been a bulletin board up for quite some time stating that, you know, this is actually happening, and that the film will be due for release in 2017. It will be a straight to DVD / Blu-ray release, rather than taking the traditional scenic route into cinema. And you tend to find that a lot of franchises, especially the horror franchises who've got sort of 7 and 8 sequels, they tend to get to a stage whereby they stop releasing them in the cinema and they just go direct to DVD or Blu-ray. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Wrong Turn franchise, the story essentially began back in 2003 with the release of the first Wrong Turn film, and it was a great film. It was very good. The storyline revolved around, it was a storyline that's been done countless times before. A group of teenagers and one random stranger end up meeting in pretty bad circumstances when their cars are run off the road by barbed wire that's been strewn across the road. Their cars end up getting smashed to pieces. They then try to phone to see if they can get recovery or a garage or police or an ambulance or anybody with, you know, big blue flashy lights on top of their vehicles. And they subsequently find that they have no cell phone signal. So they then decide that, in true horror fashion style, that they're not only going to go on foot and walk, but they're also going to separate. Some of them are going to stay behind with the cars, which, you know, I suppose is fair enough. You know, you don't want anybody driving by, getting into your car and stealing whatever belongings you have. So they end up separating. 2 of them stay behind, the rest go on foot. And that is when things take a turn for the worse. Now the film itself, the original film, was met with mixed reviews, but it did have a lot of hype behind it. And when it was finally viewed by a lot of horror fans out there, it was thoroughly enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. 2007 racks up, sequel, The Wrong Turn 2. As we all know, with sequels, it can get a little bit on the tready, hazy side, especially when you've got something that's done quite well for your original. It has a lot to live up to. This lived up to it. It was fun, it was entertaining, and it was well worth a look. And I thoroughly enjoyed that one as well. It was what a sequel should be. And then they did what they always do with horror films that are doing very well. Everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and starts to make more and more and more, and yes, some more, and yeah, a few more as well, additional sequels. And this is when things go wrong, because there is only so much you can draw out of the subject matter before it becomes totally watered down, totally diluted, to the point of just not even being worthy of a PG-12 rating. Now, that's not to say that the films aren't fun. They are fun, and any horror film fanatic like me will actually go out and you will enjoy it for its, for the fact that it's a horror film, it's a different horror film. And that, somebody's actually been out there and balls enough to actually go out and try and tackle the subject that's already been tackled 20 million times before. Anybody who manages to do that and gets successful backing from any studio, you're under a good thing as far as I'm concerned. But you have to deliver the content, and unfortunately the last in the series, from my opinion, failed to do that. It was unfortunately, it was a bit of a letdown. So for those of you out there who are fans of Jaws, you will be in for a nice surprise. First of all, I'm not talking about Jaws out of the James Bond film with the metal teeth, although this Jaws does have teeth. Yes, I'm talking about the aquatic kind, the kind that swims around in the ocean, the kind that lets everybody know that it's there by its fin coming through the water and then disappearing, and then suddenly biting some poor bugger in half and eating their entrails. Yes, that's right, we have the release of the new horror flick, The Shallows. Now, rumour of this film was bandying around for quite some time, and a lot of people didn't think it was going to get made, but they did. They pulled it out the bag, and it looks tremendous. Now, for those of you out there who've probably seen the teaser trailers kicking around on YouTube, you're going to know exactly what this is about. However, if you haven't seen the teaser trailers, I'm going to bang a couple of links down in the description for you to crack onto and take a look. So, you want more sharks? That not enough for you? Okay. I am going to give you more sharks. Yes, that's right. We are heading back to the deep again. Yes, for those of you who are frightened of snorkeling and frightened of diving and frightened of the claustrophobia and frightened of, well, drowning or basically being eaten in half by some creature from the deep, then it's probably a good idea to stay well clear of this one. Although I suppose fans of Jurassic Park may endeavour to watch this. Yes, we are talking about the film version of Steve Alten's 1997 New York Times bestseller, Meg. Now, the storyline behind Meg revolves around the recovery of a submersible that has fallen down to the bottom of the Marina Trench and is laying there disabled. And what do they have to do? They have to send in some specialists, some scientists, and yes, there is also the worry that lurking down in the depths of the Marina Trench, there is some big ass prehistoric shark that is about ready to kill everybody. Now, of course, they are doing this justice. They are not getting some nobody, some newbie, some strange kind of guy or woman who feels like they can act when they can't. Yes, Statham lovers, you are in for a treat, because he is taking on the lead role. He is the guy who will be, yes, need I say it, fighting off this big ass prehistoric shark. And of course, he's going to have all the worry of whether or not he's going to be able to, well, keep himself intact. Now, this film actually sounds very, very good. I am quite looking forward to this film. My only complaint is that originally horror episodio absolute legend director Eli Roth was originally penned to direct this monster of a blockbuster, and I think personally he would have done a very, very, very good job. However, for some reason he has been dropped and they have drafted in another director to do the visual. So because this is the case, I'm not entirely sure what the final product is going to be like. All I can do is hope and pray to God that they do it justice and that it doesn't end up like Deep Blue Sea. I'm sorry for fans of Deep Blue Sea out there, I really am, but Deep Blue Sea, although some parts of it are very good and the storyline was pretty original, the effects in certain parts just totally let it down. Totally let it down. So yes, you lovely bubbly lot, we have two, count them, 1 and 2 shark films on the horizon. The question is, will you be looking out for their fins on the horizon, making sure that you don't get your ass bitten? I personally think that these two are going to be very good. I personally think that the two of these are going to be worth seeing. So check it out. I've popped the trailer for The Shallows in the description below, and as soon as I get any more word on Meg or the sniff of a trailer, I am going to report straight to you to let you watch it.